Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining my little Facebook group called Recovering from Whiteness, Reclaiming Racial and Cultural Identity. I am so happy to walk along this journey with you. Some of you may be even further along in your journey than I am. Some of you may just be beginning. Nevertheless, I am happy to be 6 years Black. I have been recovering from whiteness and returning back to my Black self for the past 6 years. I can't even tell you what it feels like to be an amazing Black woman. In fact, I am so comfortable now in my skin that I'm coming to you in no makeup, honey. My hair ain't done. And if you were to see this jumpsuit, you would know that I just showed up. However, if I wait to get all gussied up, this video would never happen. And I just wanted something dynamic in our group. And I wanted to share with you something that's been important to me in helping me to come back to Black. And it's an awareness of racial identity development models. I do not want to insult your intelligence. I'm sure some of you are very important, very already informed about what racial identity development models are. So you can skip ahead if you would like to, but there are those of you who do not know what a racial identity development model is. All right, so there are quite a few racial identity development models that exist. Dr. William Cross, who is amazing, developed the very first one, and his was called the model of Nigrescence, or the pretty much the process of becoming Black. His Look him up. He died last year. I had the amazing privilege of meeting him probably 5 months before he passed away, right? What a beautiful man, and what a gift he left to us. So I would say take a look at his model, and Wikipedia actually does a really good job of explaining his model to us. And then the amazing Black, brilliant Dr. Janet Helms came up with a white racial identity development model, which I think what she says is, hey, not only do people of color need to know where they are along the continuum of racial identity development, but white people need to know as well. So her work is also brilliant. And then she developed a second model called the people of color racial identity development model for people who are not Black and who are not white. So check those racial identity development models out. And there may be more out there, but I'm just speaking from these three. Okay, listen, a racial identity development model is this continuum of about 5 to 6 stages that we go through as we navigate life in our racial and cultural selves. At the beginning of each of the models is this naivety, meaning none of us know anything about race or culture when we are born. In fact, on social media, you see the little culturally different kids hugging each other. There's one of this cute Black boy and white boy. They swear they are twins. You cannot tell those boys that they are not twins, and they believe that they look exactly alike. Their video is so cute. In fact, their parents dressed them alike just to confirm that they in themselves are that they are twins. So at the beginning, there's a naivety. We don't have any concept of race or culture, and then we have these encounters. These encounters push us along the continuum. Encounters are these things that happen that lets you know that you are different. For children of color, this happens about ages 4, 5, or 6, that kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, first grade age, where someone um, it tells you that you're different. For me, someone said, "You're the color of chocolate milk." And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? My skin is the color of chocolate milk, and yours look like vanilla or white milk. But you have this encounter where you have to reconcile race. It's like, okay, now that I know that I'm different, what do I do with this information? As a child, you probably continue to move along, right? Your ears become open and you begin to absorb. You can now hear the differences between you and other people, all right? And then you move along the continuum, the more encounters you have. And at some point, you may be informed by the superiority or the inferiority of races. And so you have to reconcile again, right? Well, then my skin color, is it good or bad? When you're younger, we don't use superiority or inferiority. We use, okay, is it good or bad? And then you start paying attention to news and movies and I don't know, crime and the faces of the folks who are behind the crimes, and you begin to be informed of, oh my gosh, my skin color is bad, or it is not good to be who I am. However, some people grow up in a family where they are reinforced, their culture and race is reinforced, and they feel very proud to be who they are. I decided at an early age that Black apparently was not good, especially from the family I come from, the community I come from, and grew up in. And so I made a decision early that white was better, white is right. Um, white is right. And so I went to a white school, became informed, changed my dialect. Child, this ain't the way I speak. This right here is well groomed and trained. But anyway, changed myself. And that's how I began to lose my blackness, believing that whiteness was better. So in the middle of the racial identity development is where we exhibit internalized racism, right? For me, it looked like because I chose whiteness as better, I experience internalized racism. And this just simply means that I believe the lies that was handed down to me about Black people. So not only did white people not like Black people, I didn't like Black people. Now, this is subconscious because you don't who could consciously say, I don't like people who look like me? But we do this, we exhibit these kind of behaviors like we don't patronize Black businesses, right? We believe that Black people are sketchy. Oh my gosh, when Sha'Carri Richardson, the track star, was running with her orange wig and her long fingernails, we would say things like, "Oh my gosh, she make the Black people look bad," or "She know better than to show up like that." Those are messages or symptoms of internalized racism. Also, when Black people would speak, so now that I got this dialect, they would say things like salmon. I'm like, oh no, the word is salmon. Like, who made me the grammar police? They would say axe. And I would say, oh no, it's ask, it's ask. I'm correcting them, right? Because my language is better. But those are signs or oh my gosh, the microaggressions. We accept these backhanded compliments are like, oh, Latanya, you're so articulate. You're not like other Black people. I'm like, oh yes, I know, right? Girl, that is not a compliment. But when you're in the middle of the racial identity development, you don't know. You think that you're arriving because you're accepted by white people. Okay, now at the end of the racial identity development continuum is anti-racism, where I hope we all go, but some people get stuck. We don't move to anti-racism. And at the end, where racism exists, it means I am okay being fully Black. I accept you with who you are. I don't need to change you. I don't need to dislike you. I don't need to dislike my own people. Like there's room for all of us. And unfortunately, many of us don't get there. When I was stuck in the middle at internalized racism, I continued to have these encounters that would push me along. Some people, regardless of the encounters, they refuse to move. I chose to move. Trayvon Martin's death was one of those things that was one of the encounters that pushed me along, or at least nudged me. It did not forced me to go back to Black. I just thought, oh my gosh, this young Black boy was killed in a gated white community. And here I was living in white communities and putting my kids in white schools, thinking it was the panacea and security and safety. And I'm like, ooh, girl, if he was killed inside the gates, you are not safe, right? I'm so busy thinking of being inside the gates as protection. And I'm like, I needed to be afraid of what was in the gates with me. So that was one of the things that nudged me, but I didn't move. And I just continued to have these encounters. And my last encounter that forced me to be Black was while I was a doctoral student and was enduring the racism that came with who do you think you are to be getting this advanced degree? And this is my interpretation of my experiences. I continue to be put in my place as a student aggressing and getting the most advanced degree. And I see why they call it terminal because I'm like, honey, I almost died for that degree. But it was those encounters where I said, girl, the world sees you as a Black woman. You better start seeing yourself as one. And that was the beginning of me saying, I need to be comfortable in my own skin with who I am. And it's just been a journey. It's been an amazing journey. But that's what I wanted to leave you with. I wanted you to explore where are you along the racial identity development models. Take a look at one and then let me know in the comments. You guys be well, be blessed, and continue to be yourselves. Bye-bye.